Well, hello, folks. You caught me pointing to the side, and because I'm usually coming from the side one way or another. Hello, my name's John Gray, and this is Just Plain Living.
Good morning, Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
And glad to be alive.
Glad to be alive.
Yeah, that's right.
This is Veterans, not Veterans Day, but we pretty much consider it Veterans Week.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because Veterans Day is the 11th on Saturday, and so we certainly want to respect and thank our veterans for all they have done,
Absolutely.
past, present, and future.
Exactly.
A lot of events going on everywhere, too. Friday here in Tullahoma at
Yes.
the Civic Center at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Saturday at the American Legion building uptown and on the square at 11 o'clock.
And
Sa-
then what
Saturday
about
the 11th.
Manchester?
Manchester is also at 11 o'clock on Saturday.
Saturday,
So,
okay.
Saturday the 11th.
11th,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, that's the real day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the real.
At 11 on the 11th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think Winston Brooks is going to be on in a little bit and give us a little bit more information on that, and just.
We have a lot to be grateful for, to our
Yes.
veterans.
Yes, we do.
Oh yeah! Oh heavens, yes! And in this nation, freest nation in the world.
It's getting scary. I hate it about Texas. Every time I turn
That
on
was
the
one
TV, there's
big
a new
tragedy.
slaughter. That was horrible.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Well, it's always horrible, but I hope it doesn't get to be so mundane that people don't think about it anymore. You know,
Yeah.
it's happening so much.
Yeah.
It's really a sad situation. And I was watching the Today Show before we came on the air this morning, and they did a piece on YouTube Children's Channel that people are pulling their children off of that because a lot of the cartoons on there have sexual innuendos where somebody is hacked in.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
they've got all of a
it's
sudden they've
ridiculous.
got Mickey Mouse with a machine gun in his hand killing people, and these are little cartoons for little bitty children to be watching.
I know, it's ridiculous.
And so YouTube is doing a research on all of that, and because it's not them doing it and it's not with their permission that it's being done. But I mean, how crazy does a person have to be to think that's funny?
Or
I don't know.
educational in
It's
any
amazing
way.
to me that people spend the time and effort to hack somebody's computer. I mean, not for, I understand if they're trying to steal money, but a lot of people do it just to mess up your stuff.
Just to mess everything up.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, who's got time to do that?
Well,
Probably people that
there's
don't
a
work.
bunch of them living in mom and daddy's basement or grandma's basement, don't have a job.
That need a
That's all
job,
they
exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
do. You'd be surprised how many people in this town right here, millennial age, younger people, don't ever get out of the house all day long.
Mm-hmm.
They play video. I know of 4 or 5 places where they gather and they play video games all day long. That's all they do. I don't know who's funding them
Right,
because they don't. Why don't any of them work?
right.
I just don't get it.
Yeah. Unreal.
So it's you know, the more and more I keep watching some of these commercials. Now the new one out is the Assassin on Xbox or something like that, and these things are getting more and more. The characters are getting more and more human looking. They're not sticks anymore. They're not
Right.
cartoon characters
They look like
anymore.
real people.
They look like real people, which is really pretty scary because whoever this person that is a real person playing this thing gives them the feeling that they're actually killing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And that just ain't right.
No, it's
I
different.
mean, I don't understand it.
Things have changed
Yeah, the
immensely
key
in our
to
lifetime.
all
haven't
that
they?
is to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
First time Mickey Mouse was ever a cartoon, Steamboat Willie wouldn't have done anything like that.
Right.
And even when Davy Crockett was floating down the river and had I forget who the guy is that was the river guy that he had a fight with, they didn't kill one, they beat each other up.
Yeah.
Picked and pulled the other one up, patted each other on the back, and went on down the way, you know.
Right.
Yeah, nowadays you're getting in.
Nowadays you kill somebody.
Well, like, you know, you're standing up for yourself and you want to fight back, but you maybe think twice.
Yeah.
Because the other man may be holding a gun.
Right.
Sure. So it's strange, but do not, no matter what, live your life in fear. Do not do that
You
because
can't.
you will be absolutely miserable if you do.
You will. Absolutely.
Did you see where a U.S. senator got attacked by his
Yes.
neighbor? And this morning they're saying that that it was over landscaping or something, and somebody dumping trash, or landscaping waste or something
Yeah.
over on the other one's property. And
But we've had that happen
Yeah.
right here in this town before, too.
Another newscaster said it was because one was one party and the other one was another.
yeah, I think they ruled that out because I believe it's a
You think they
violation of
did?
federal law if you taxed a U.S. senator or representative over political something
Yeah.
or other. You know, this apparently was not. Both of them were doctors, and you know, and
Two doctors fighting over landscaping
apparently
refuge. I mean,
I don't know. What's the world coming to?
I don't know, buddy. Be glad you got enough money to have somebody do landscaping for you.
There you go.
You know,
Well, no,
give it a break.
Actually, the U.S. senator was mowing his yard.
I know, it seemed like he was just-
when he got attacked by his neighbor who lived next door to him. Apparently,
It didn't appear that he was doing anything wrong.
No,
So,
didn't.
what do
So
I
when
know?
their ass clipping.
You never know what you hear on the news. I don't even know that I don't take the news, as fact all the time.
No, you can't. It's not
can't.
fact anymore.
Because they have to keep talking about something over and over and over.
Yeah.
They never run out.
That's why they came up with the term, what is it, false news or fake news?
Mm-hmm.
People, the news people say what they're paid to say.
Sure.
It's not like Walter Cronkite's gone, folks.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
to be found ever again.
Right.
That's just the way it is. Hey, Peggy I saw Peggy in Nashville on Sunday. I was fortunate enough to be
You
invited.
guys had a rendezvous in there?
we had a rendezvous.
Yeah,
John
we
and
ended
me.
up at TPAC.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
fortunate
okay.
enough to be invited. Fran and I were invited to go to TPAC to see American in Paris, which was an incredible production, just unbelievable.
It really was.
And Peggy and her
Entourage.
peeps were all up there together.
Yeah.
My children by another mother.
Yeah. Grumpy
And Shannon.
Grumpy
Shannon set it up.
Yeah.
It was fun. I loved the play because I am a real hardcore fan of George Gershwin, and his music has always moved me. And when he died, of course, that was a long time ago, a little bit close to when I was born, I guess. But when I saw the movie of his life, and he died so young with all that talent,
Oh, yeah.
it was just horrible. But American in Paris, I would recommend it.
Yeah, it was. What was
Very
so
different for a musical.
Well, what was so cool about it is nowadays, where instead of building sets and having
I
to
love
pull
the
all this stuff on and off stage and transport it
Right.
from town to town, they use projection a lot. And Paris is projected in the back, and then what was so incredible to me, of course, the singing and dancing was phenomenal.
It's the best I've ever seen, I think.
But the people who did the set pieces, because they had flats, just like these things we have that we roll around from time to time, except they were big, tall, and they had mirrored surface on some of them, and they would bring these things in and put them together in a corner like that, and then project, and that would be the corner of a building.
And you
And so the
all
landscape-
believe you were in Paris.
The streetscape was changing constantly, and they were whoever was handling those pieces that they were moved around. It was probably the most difficult thing that happened on stage, as far as I was concerned.
Maybe the dancing was. I've never.
Well, but
seen
they were dancing. But they were dancing. They were dancing with those things.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
It was
they were
the
phenomenal.
timing and all that was, but it was just incredible, and it's TPAC's just outrageous how wonderful it is, the things that are there.
Is that your phone?
I think it was my phone. Yeah.
They're calling you. They're after you.
They're after you, Jim.
Right.
The other night at the Beatles concert, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, that was at South Jackson on Saturday
There was
night.
somebody to the right of me whose phone kept going off, and I just wondered if you heard it.
Nah, I can't hear.
Oh, okay, maybe it was your phone.
No, I left my phone over here. I didn't even take it to South Jackson.
Yeah.
I do
Anyway.
that when I go somewhere and I know that the people that I care about are going to be around. I don't even take my phone with me. if I'm with my family and I know they're all safe, I don't want to.
You don't have
I don't have to have
carry
a
on
phone
a conversation.
there. No.
That's what I do when I get here early. I answer my messages for the last 3 or 4 days.
For the last 3 or 4
Yeah.
days.
I mean, I don't answer every phone that rings at my house.
Hey, something before we close this section right here that we do need to bring up about South Jackson is Sister Act.
Coming this weekend.
Is on stage starting Thursday night. The shows are at 7, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday the matinee's at 2.
Is it 2, not 2:30?
I think it's 2,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I got a reservations for Sunday. I should know.
Well, but
It's gonna be a
and
spectacular event.
The cast is absolutely phenomenal, and of course that's a really funny and fun show.
Yeah, it has. I was hoping one of them might come on the show today, but they're
Well,
all
and
busy getting ready.
Doreen Schultz, who was also in 1776 with us, she played a man in 1776. Now she's playing the Mother Superior,
Superior, yeah.
and she said, "I don't know which is the harder role for me to try to play, being a man or being Mother Superior." But
I'm sure that could be challenging.
yeah, big challenge. So,
Big
but
cast,
she's great, and the whole cast is just phenomenal. So, go to South Jackson and see that. You'll be glad that you did.
There's a lot going on at South Jackson.
Well, there's a lot going on in this town always.
The following weekend, we have our Young Artist Showcase, which showcases young, fabulous musicians. And
Yeah,
I'm always proud of that.
I'm doing an interview with Fran and Lisa this Friday to be
Good.
on next Tuesday's show.
Great.
So they'll be here to discuss that. And the Titans won a ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee won a ball game.
Right.
And Butch survived another week.
He
Do you
did.
think that gives him a prayer?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who
You
knows?
know, who knows, for goodness sake.
And Ohio State got beat, and Penn State got
Yeah.
beat. So, wow, what happened in the
2 weeks in a
world?
row, Penn State heartbreakers.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
for sure.
Total 4
For
points,
sure.
2 losses. Ohio State got beat pretty handily.
They
by
got
an
beat
unranked
like a
10.
drum by
Like
Iowa,
an
by
unranked
nobody.
10. Yeah, I know.
Nobody?
Well, they're not nobody now.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
Hey, folks, neither are we. Don't you go away, because we have a whole lot of great information for you on the rest of the show. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
It's football time in Tennessee, and nobody tackles the competition like the Russell Barnett Automotive family. With 6 different locations, 8 new car franchises, over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, a certified collision center with lifetime paint guarantee, Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental. Let our family exceed your expectations at the Russell Barnett Automotive family. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do is think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now Naveed Monajim. Did I get that right?
Perfect.
Oh, outstanding. And he is with the Bedford County Cancer Society, and they've got a big event coming up. First of all, Naveed, tell me a little bit about the Cancer Society, about your organization, what they do.
Thanks, Jim. Well, the Bedford Cancer Foundation is a local charity completely run by volunteer board where we provide financial assistance to patients and their families who are stricken by cancer. What we do is usually through 2 major fundraisers every year, the second coming up this weekend, as we'll talk about. We generate the funds to be able to provide financial assistance to folks that are having trouble dealing with transportation issues and other financial implications of dealing with cancer. We provide direct financial assistance by paying their electric bill if they need it, or a water bill, a mortgage payment, or provide them a gas card for fuel for travel.
I'm interrupting for just a second, but I bet you that's something that happens to lots and lots of folks, and maybe you don't realize it out there, because a lot of people perhaps have insurance that covers the medical costs, but there's so many other expenses associated with that you got to deal with that you can have serious issues, I imagine.
Jim, you've got that right a ton. Everybody listening knows somebody with cancer, and they have to deal with that problem every single day. These are the unseen, issues. We got to deal with the cancer and the medical bills, but we help out with the loads of expenses that just go unpaid because you're concentrating on this life-threatening disease.
I've talked to some folks with your organization before. It's a great organization. I understand that you primarily work in Bedford County. Is that correct?
Yes, our charter requires us to assist folks who reside in Bedford County.
Okay. And I'm also assuming that probably the kind of organization you have, that you're able to react and respond pretty quickly to these kinds of things. There's not a lot of red tape that goes on, but I know that you have a procedure you go through before you grant help.
Yes, folks that need help contact us either through our website or by phone. We investigate their situation, and then every month we meet formally discuss all of these cases and provide the financial assistance for them. So if there's some emergent need in between, we have the ability to take care of this. We have, our budget is pretty much $0. We have no administrative costs. All the costs of running this are purely volunteered through the board members.
Right.
So everything that we raise stays for the assistance of folks in Bedford County.
Okay, so it's guys like you and ladies that get involved in this thing and do all the work associated with it. So all the money you give, I assume, goes to the benefit.
Yes, everything goes to the patient. We're a 501c3 organization, so there's the administrative costs related to maintaining that organization, but it's a IRS recognizes charitable organization, and all of our expenses are borne by the board, or just the small administrative costs from our money raised. So about 99.9% of all of our money goes directly to the folks who are providing assistance.
How long has this organization been around?
We've been around for about 12 years, 12 to 13 years.
Right.
Great set of volunteer board members.
Everybody I've met has and been very dedicated and involved in the cause that you guys are supporting. You mentioned that you had 2 fundraisers. I think one of them's a horse show, is it not?
That's right. One of them's a horse show. It takes place in the spring.
How appropriate is that for Shelbyville? Yeah.
Right. It takes place in the spring, and then our upcoming 5K run walk is our next biggest fundraiser.
Talk a little bit about your 5K coming up.
Well, the 5K we've sort of combined in with our honoring and celebrating Veterans Day and our veterans. So it usually takes place on the day, well, it always takes place for the last 6 years, in conjunction with the Veterans Day Parade. So right there pretty close to downtown Shelbyville, the race and the walk starts right in front of all the floats and runs along the parade route and ends in the celebration grounds there, right but where Calisonic Green is.
I did not realize that. So as the parade is making its route, you guys are running with...
We're in front of them. Yeah, we're right in front. Of course, we've had world-class runners that run that route in 15 minutes, and then anybody that wants to come along and register and walk. We've got strollers, golf carts, you name it. All there, of course, to both honor the veterans as well as raise money to help folks with
So
cancer.
Basically, you don't have to be a big major athlete to be able to be part of that. You can participate in any manner, on any level.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's a great idea, and I assume that you make a contribution to be able to participate in that part of it, right?
But you register. It's only $25 to register if you can register between now and the event. So the event is going to be this Saturday at 11 o'clock, which is when the Veterans Day Parade is in Shelbyville. And you can register right at our website.
Yeah, okay. And what is that website? Do you know?
It's BedfordCancerFoundation.org. I see on the screen it says .com, but it's,
they already knew that back there.
But it's .org, not .com.
Oh, okay.
If you go to .com,
all right, okay,
you'll run into a dead end. But
yeah, okay. There we go. Fixed it back there. Good.
There we go.
Good job.
Fantastic.
So you can actually register online. You don't have,
yes.
or you can just show up the day.
You can show up on the day. It's a little more. You pay just a little bit more to register on the day. But we meet all the runners can register right at the Calsonic Arena in Shelbyville, and then we shuttle them over to the parade start for the start of the race, and then the race runs and ends right at Calsonic Arena, where we'll have refreshments and medals. The winners get cash money. The overall male and female winners win $100. So a good investment for the world-class runners. So.
Yeah, and I would imagine it's a lot of fun. A lot of fellowship goes on with that organization.
Yes, sir. And just last year we had a cancer. Well, we've had several cancer survivors, but there's one that's undergoing treatment now that walked the whole 3.1 miles, and that was just something to see.
You got to be
inspiring.
proud of that person.
Really. Seriously.
Yeah.
In fact, her doctor had told her that she probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But she mustered up the will and the energy to do it, and it was so it brought tears to eyes.
Yeah, so. I can imagine, and I would imagine what you guys are doing, the whole concept of what you guys do, is probably something that's quite fulfilling for you as individuals to be a part of that.
There's no replacing that feeling where you are doing something for the community, pure volunteer, and then when you got a group. That energy is synergistic. I mean, it's just so inspiring to sit there and meet with these folks, all of us with the same purpose and succeeding.
Yeah, and unfortunately, probably all of us are going to be touched by that at some point in our lives. So it's something that we all should and be aware of and support that kind of organization. Okay, coming up this Saturday, and if they just want to show up, they show up at the Calsonic Arena. Is that correct?
Calsonic Arena, before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we got to get everybody shuttled over before 11, which is when the race starts. So if you show up before 10 o'clock, ideally way before 10 o'clock if you're registering there.
Right.
And hopefully we'll have shirts available. Pre-registration will guarantee a shirt, but hopefully if you show up, we might have a few available for you.
Okay, so. This is a great organization and a great cause, and folks, it is Veterans Day, and it'll give you an opportunity to get out there and support people who are touched by cancer in Bedford County, and also honor our nation's veterans. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
Great organization. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
It's a pleasure to speak with you.
We'll be right back with more.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch, and we're here today, John, for segment 54 of the Conversation with John and Pat. It's been pointed out by production that we now have over a year's worth of shows. In fact, this will be 2 weeks past a year. 52 weeks in a year, John.
This song I'm going to sing is based off of a Bible verse, 1 Thessalonians 4:16, and it was written by Mr. Black back in 1893 when the roll is called up yonder.
But let's, whoa. The song was written by Mr. Black. The verse was been written by the Apostle Paul.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. But it wasn't written just the way, but it transcends, the message comes through the chorus.
Oh, that's...
I'll have to read and make sure I'm correct on that. When the trumpet of the Lord shall call and time will be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair. When the saved of earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. Let us labor for the Master from the dawn till setting sun. Let us think of all His wondrous love and care. And when all of life is over and our work on here is done, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. That's a good old song.
That is a good
song. Been around
John.
a
long time.
Since 1893, but you said, the New Testament does, it was first.
Correct.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're talking about the first Little League state championship team, and that occurred 1984.
82. Was it 2 or 4? 4. 84.
84.
Yeah.
I've got an article here, and we'll mention the boys on that team in the first row. Temple Bowling, Wayne Bird, Danny Riddle, Stacy Smith, Tracy Smith, Todd Branch, Patrick Cushman. Back row, Coach Jackie Revis, Chris Rickman, Sean Elrod, Vondell Hickerson, Gary Phillips, Craig Revis, Ted Farrell, Clyde Petty, and manager Charles Riddle. Great team. They went on to the Southeastern Conference play, I believe it was in Florida, St. Petersburg, I think.
Yeah.
And they were a great team. Jackie Revis is, of course, a great coach. And you and I can do his voice pretty good, can't we, Pat? When we really concentrate. Yeah. And he's a great Christian man. Good man. So fine, and has a lot to do with your FCA here. And
though he lives in Murfreesboro in Florida now, anytime that Fellowship of Christian Athletes has an event, and we had a fundraiser, I guess 3 weeks ago now, he blew in there like a Tasmanian devil and emptied his pockets, I can tell you that.
One person I'd like to make reference to, and Pat and I will talk about him a little bit, is Charles Riddle over there on the right. The gentleman, a little taller than Jackie, and he is absolutely a gentleman. His wife passed away, and then Ann Danewood, husband, passed away, and Charles and Ann married.
You would have known Ann because Ann taught at East.
Yes, she was.
While you were over there, she was
fine.
a great lady.
But something about Charles Riddle that some of you may know and may not know, that he had 4 sons, and Danny, third from the left on the front row, is his son, Danny, number 11, and. But he had 4 sons at one time, and there was a tragic automobile accident in Tullahoma where he had 3 sons killed. Those 3 sons. Danny was the only.
They were parked or stopped at a stoplight, and somebody came about 70 or 80 miles an hour from behind and hit them without braking and killed them. Horrible tragedy. In fact, when they went out, Danny was planning on going with them, and right at the last minute decided not to go, or he would have lost all of his sons.
I guess what we'll talk about here is how a man keeps going with his faith, no matter what.
Yeah, we can. He and Ann, I went to church with, and Charles was quiet, real steady kind of guy, and I taught and still teach high school Sunday school and have for a while, and I had a lesson coming up, and the guide wanted me to find somebody in the church that had faced a lot of tough situations but as an influence to your students had not overcome it, but been able to live with it, and has faith and strengthened him during those times. And so I thought about Charles. So I called him up, and he seemed fine about it, and said, "Well, we need to have you there at 10:30." Charles, he said, "I'll be there." And they said, "This is the first time I have done this, but I believe I can do it." So next Sunday, 10:30 came, and it wasn't any Charles, and about 10 more minutes later, there wasn't any Charles. So I called the house, and Ann answered the phone, and she knew what was going on, of course, immediately. And she said, "Pat, he won't be able to come." And I said, I'm so sorry. And she said, "Well, he left, but he got about halfway there and was just overcome with emotion and had to come back." But I told my class, most of which this class normally meets between 2 services, and I go to early service, but most of the class, being teenagers, goes to second service, and Charles and Ann did too. And I told my class, I said, "He can't make it, but I'll tell you as a living testimony to this man's faith, I bet he'll be there in about 20 more minutes." And sure enough, he came in there, and then it made a dent on my students, and he never had to say a word. Yeah. Great guy, great family, great people.
What more can you say after a story like that?
Yeah.
And I hope someone that sees this maybe will pass this on to Ann and Charles. And let them know.
They're living in Nashville now, I believe. In fact, I have not seen them in 4 or 5 years, and this is going to make me try to seek them out and check back with them. Yeah,
that's good. That's segment 54, Pat.
54 is a somber one, but one that we hope strengthens people. And if management will let us be back, we're coming back for 55. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street, heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy because my buddy Winston Brooks is here today, and I love it every time Winston comes because he is full of information about a lot of good stuff that's going on around town. And as I say every time he's here, I'm so very proud of the job he's doing and how he conducts himself in the city of Tullahoma to help make things better for folks like you and me. Winston Brooks.
Hey, how you doing?
Thanks
Great
for
to
being
see
here,
you,
buddy.
Well, likewise.
Yeah, Veterans Week.
People. We got Veterans Week and Veterans Day coming up.
That's it.
And I have to give you a shout out though for your fashion style lately. Maybe it's coming from the Rooster and Red Maiden Rooster wear. The hats you've been wearing.
Oh, you like that?
Man, I've been thinking about getting some hats.
Hats are good stuff.
So
hats are in style right now. Of course, they've always been in style.
Single-handedly bringing them back.
There you go. No, there's all kinds of folks doing that. Remember Popeye Doyle in that one movie that wore the hat with it turned up like that? And a lot of turn about the turn of the century and everything.
Yep.
Mafia people all wore hats.
I know, but I mean, it's been you're bringing it back to Tullahoma, single-handedly in Coffee County, so you should be commended for that.
There's a whole lot of people wearing hats right now, but it's fun. It's fun to have a nice hat on.
Absolutely. So we mentioned Veterans Day, and we've got a great program coming up Friday, November 10th at the South Jackson Civic Center, 10:45 a.m. We're going to pause and honor all of our veterans, and this year's ceremony is going to be really exciting and really great. This may be one of the best years we've got. We've got new music that's going to be featured. We've got a great speaker. We have Colonel Scott Kane, who is the commander out at AEDC at Arnold Air Force Base. So this will be the first time that I've been doing this, that we've had the acting commander come. So that's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you've met him yet.
He's been on the show with us. He's a nice guy.
Dynamic young man.
Yes, he is.
Intelligent. I'm so glad there are a lot of smarter people than me in this world.
And you know what? I guess it's because I'm getting older, but it amazes me how much that young man has done.
Oh, yes.
At such a young age.
That's
he
right.
has accomplished a whole lot of stuff.
Well, his degree is in astronautical engineering, which means aircraft that fly outside of our atmosphere.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm glad there's people out there smarter than me, because we would be in a bad way if we needed to fly.
You know what? And I was at Couch's the other day, and there was a gentleman in there looking for a thermostat for his washer, dryer, or something. To keep it, a door thermostat, the shut off thing, the safety device. And it's this little thing with prongs and stuff around it. And I thought, what's going to happen if all that disappears? Are we smart enough to recreate a lot of the things, or have we gotten lazy? A lot of the technology that's brought us to where we are, I hope we've got people that are smart enough to redo that.
That's right.
You know,
I actually think about that sometimes, but fortunately, that's why you have these large organizations like the Air Force and University of Tennessee Space Institute keep all that flight knowledge handy, and I'm sure the GEs and the of the world are also keeping those engineering marvels of the.
Well, I hope they have paper. I hope they have it stored in paper somewhere
card
in case all of this stuff crashes.
That's right. All the books will be gone.
All the books will be gone.
That's right. It'll be a tough song. But we digress a little bit. Let's just talk a little bit about Veterans Day, because one of our great performances will be by a gentleman named John Gray.
No.
I don't know if you know him or not, but he does a great performance of a song called Faithful Soldier. Can you tell us a little bit about Faithful Soldier?
Well, Faithful Soldier is a song my grandfather sang a cappella in an old Southern Baptist church back in the country. And so I heard a cappella singing and Sacred Harp type singing as a kid. And then when I was in high school, I was in a garage band and all of that. And when everybody was listening to the Beatles, I was listening to a guy named Doc Watson, who was a blind flat top guitar player from North Carolina. And one of the songs on his, and he sang that old style, Appalachian style, and one of the songs on one of his albums on Sugar Hill was Faithful Soldier.
It's a great song.
And it's about the trip of a soldier and a soldier in, not only a soldier in military fashion, but a soldier in a spiritual fashion as well. And so I've always enjoyed doing that song.
Do a great job, and
it
makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up when you did last year. So
I'm
looking forward to that.
Appreciate it.
We have other music that's going to be provided by the THS Aristocats. They do an excellent job, led by Adam Womack, and the THS Brass Ensemble from the band.
They always do good
award-winning show there with Justin Scott and the new band director Lisa Burden, who's come into town and really doing a great job with the young musicians. So they'll do their usual patriotic music. But then we have Lloyd Smith.
I was just getting ready to ask if Lloyd was going to be there. And you talk about a voice.
Yes. It's unbelievable.
And Lloyd does several things, but one thing he does is he does all of the military service.
I call it a patriotic medley.
Patriotic medley of the Army song and the Navy song and the Marine song and the Coast Guard and all this stuff, and all of the veterans in those branches of service stand up during that, and it's just hair standing up on me right now.
It is really great.
It's really wonderful.
It's worth seeing.
Yeah, if you've not come to this before, and you don't have to be a veteran to come to it. You just need to be a citizen who would like to spend time and celebrate our veterans and the people who have helped keep our nation strong and safe, and our freedom as it is right now. We're the freest country in the world.
That's right, and so all thankful to our veterans. And that's really what I've enjoyed about being involved in this program, is going and getting to know the veterans. And some of the older veterans will wear their World War II uniforms.
We still have some World War II guys.
And you get to visit with them. There's a reception afterwards with some food and coffee, so people can visit after the presentation. So it's just been a great experience for me to be involved. And I really want to reach out, just thank all the people and the volunteers who helped make this a great event, because it's really something special that the city puts on, and it's usually a packed house. So the event this year is on November 10th, a Friday, which is a little awkward. So be mindful that the city this year will not be doing it on November 11th. They'll be doing that over in Coffee County on November 11th. But the federal holiday is observed on Friday when it falls on a Saturday like that.
Right,
so it's over the next 2 years, it'll be a little off kilter. It won't be on the 11th.
But then on Saturday at the American Legion post on Atlantic Street, we will also have on 11/11, which is Saturday, we will have a veteran celebration at 11 o'clock.
I appreciate you reminding me about that. I saw Benny this weekend, and he wanted me to tell people to come out to the Veterans Day ceremony on November 11th at the American Legion.
Right, and that's one of the things. I'm the chaplain there, and one of the things we do is read the list of our county veterans who have passed away this past year, and that's usually a very solemn and it's a wonderful event,
Yes.
and we have so many who have served and gone, and they're to be thanked as well.
Well, we have a Ringing of the Fallen in our presentation at the City too. We've got Ed Lavari, who's going to be a U.S. Navy retired veteran, and his family owns Fuel So Good, and so he's new to that. Just Max Lamont used to do the Ringing of the Bell for the Fallen, and it's sort of similar to what you're saying. Calling out the names of veterans that have gone on. Yeah. So it's a very moving part of the ceremony.
It is very good. Thank you, man, for. Hey, backstage, where are we going to go to Lloyd right now? Okay, we've got Lloyd, and we're going to bring that a little bit later on. But so right now we'll be back after this commercial break.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Good morning, camera ladies. It's Miss J&J. Thank you, John, for that introduction. We're glad to be here one more time. And as I said before, this is not the end of the story, but here's some more of it right now coming up. And there's so many wonderful things and exciting and interesting topics to talk about and to discuss. And one that's talked about very little or discussed very little, but it's an important part of all of our lives, and our last resting place. I thought I'd share you a little bit about cemeteries today, of all things. It might not cheer you up, but it will stimulate your thinking, and bring back a lot of remembrances of loved ones and friends that have gone to the great beyond. And we have some wonderful, well-kept cemeteries here in Tullahoma and the surrounding areas. Oakwood Cemetery at the corner of Wilson Avenue and North Jackson Street is the oldest of our cemeteries in Tullahoma, and it was expanded about 30, 40 years ago. It enlarged because it was almost completely full, and it's well kept by the city and the public works people. They mow it in the summertime, they rake it in the fall, and look after it in the wintertime. I have no idea how many folks are buried there, but it's well kept. We've got some beautiful trees there that have been there for many, many, many years. And then there's the Maplewood Cemetery on Maplewood Avenue that's not as old as Oakwood, but it's well kept too on a slow rising hill, and has a chain link fence around it. It's well kept by the city. And adjoining it is a Confederate cemetery. Back around 1862, 63, a fellow's name of Captain Martin, or Colonel Martin, I don't know if he had a rank, gave several acres to the Confederacy and the Confederate leadership here to bury those that had died from wounds suffered in the Battle of Stones River at Murfreesboro, when General Bragg's 20,000 troops retreated to Tullahoma in January of 1863, and many of them died of wounds suffered in that conflict, and many of them with flu and pneumonia that died in that time. And until 1995, there were 407 soldiers buried there that were totally unknown. Nobody had any records of them at the time, and our local Sons of the Confederacy did some research and were searching for something in the archives in Washington and found a list of those that were interred there at the Confederate Cemetery next to Maplewood Cemetery, and those names were verified, and 396 of the 407 were indeed verified to be accurate, and the group that found them published an up-to-date book, had a marble marker made, and rededicated that cemetery, and it's a beautiful, well-kept. It has a chain link fence around it, and it is kept by those who are members of the Sons of the Confederacy. As a matter of fact, it doesn't belong to the city, but it belongs to the heirs of those who are buried there, and they take it upon themselves to maintain it and keep that cemetery. There's a cemetery off the Turkey Creek Road just behind the Tennessee Training Academy. It's this Evergreen Cemetery that's been there for many, many years, and a little known but large cemetery just southeast of the Wagner Park complex that was part of Camp Forest is known as the People's Cemetery, and it's been there for many, many years. I think the latest marker shows that the last person buried there was in 1937. I could be wrong there, but I've been told that, and I have seen some of those markers out there. It too is well kept, but when Camp Forest was built in 1940 and 41, nobody touched anything there, and it's still just like it was originally. Our good friend Tommy Allen and his class, that one of their yearly projects is cleaning up cemeteries that have been abandoned or have been grown up in weeds and brush and trees and that sort of thing. Then there's a Bethany Cemetery out on Rock Creek, not Rock Creek, but the Riley Creek Road. It's a beautiful cemetery there by the church. Now, during World War II, there was a German, Italian, Japanese prisoner of war camp there at the edge of the entrance to Camp Forest, and some 20,000 or 30,000 prisoners of war were there, and they built about an 8 or 10 acre cemetery for those that possibly would die or become ill and subsequently die. But that area is in the industrial park, and it's right across the road of the street from the water tank in the Tullahoma's industrial park. There's a big opening there that was leveled, and I remember coming home on leave one time from the Navy, and I drove out there, and they had some German prisoners manicuring the cemetery there. I don't think there were ever more than 8 or 10 that were buried in that cemetery. And I got a call a few weeks ago when a fellow from California called and told me that his father had been a guard at the prisoner of war camp at Camp Forest and had had become a friend to a young German prisoner, and the fellow that called me himself said, I remember being in Tullahoma. I started first grade at East Lincoln Elementary School, and he's an executive with Payne Weber investment firm, and he was doing some research on his father's history as a guard out there, and he said that his father told him that that German prisoner that was his friend died in May of 1943, but didn't know have any record of what happened or anything. So we called Davis Culverson Funeral Home that had a contract with the Army to take care of those that were deceased, either our people or the prisoners, and in just a few minutes they had the record that he had died indeed in May of 1943, and they had taken care of him, and he was I believe 23 years old at the time, and they took him to Crossville that had a branch POW camp there and a cemetery there, and later was transferred his body to the National Cemetery in Chattanooga, and probably later he was sent back to his home in Germany. But it's interesting the care and the well done and well kept cemeteries that we have in our local area. And the most recent cemetery was built in 1955, which is Rose Hill Cemetery between Tullahoma and Manchester, and it of course is being well kept, and might mention too that every year on Memorial Day our Veterans of Foreign Wars and our American Legion Post puts flags on all of the veterans' graves that are identified, and this is up and going on 2,000 now, and I want to tell you that that's a blessing that we honor those at all the cemeteries for their service to keep our country free. I sure do thank you for watching, and this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come. In the meantime, y'all have a good day, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the paint. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them, and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street, and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fixes you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to Lloyd Smith, there's a couple of things I want to read. I'm a veteran, and I'm proud to be a veteran, and I'm proud of everyone who has served. I have a couple of pieces here. This is called a veteran song. From the caves in Afghanistan to the swamps of Vietnam, hand in hand they stood between evil and our home, fighting through the ages, from independence to World War II, were brave men and women that did what they had to do. The greatest generation, without question, gave its all, from the beaches of Normandy till the day of Hitler's fall. The infantry, the Navy, the boys that had to fly, many went and came back, but many had to die, and gladly gave their life for the world and their nation. God bless the veterans of the greatest generation. Now every day the USA soldiers stand the wall. All around the world they answer the call. Replace those who went and didn't make it home to honor the World War vets before they're all gone. Because they fought for our freedom, for the world and their nation. God bless the veterans of the greatest generation. Now there's other kinds of veterans out there as well. You know, we have a free world, a free nation, which allows us to do things and make choices, and there are veterans in those wars as well, and this is called the shoes left behind. The question has been asked so many times, who's going to keep the flag high, up in the wind like our heroes did to follow as we watched it fly? As they pass along in the midst of the song, someone must finish the rhythm and rhyme. The lessons they taught, the battles they fought, have fitted you for the shoes left behind. Wearing the shoes left behind, being a torch in the night, how can you ever measure up to match the blazing light that their legacy left for you to see, knowing that you would find in the memories all you would need to wear the shoes left behind? At times they loom so large, sometimes the pressure's squeezed tight, but the more you walk the road they trod, the more the fit feels right. As hard as it seems, follow your dreams, because you're one of a kind. Embrace this morn, because you were born to wear the shoes left behind. Yes, embrace this morn, because you were born to wear the shoes left behind. Mr. Lloyd Smith.
Go ahead. Hey, hey, hey,
time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maiden. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterware.
Yes, Roosterware is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterware specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterware.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, we're back, and Peggy,
I have coins for each command.
Coins for each command. These flags back here, you know, Lloyd Smith is just incredible, and we want to impress on you that this event at South Jackson on Friday at 11 is not just for veterans, but it's for citizens to celebrate our veterans and our services and the service they've given to us. So feel free, feel invited to come and enjoy this program because it is a wonderful patriotic program.
You know, I think families of service men and women sacrifice a great deal.
Oh, they do.
For those that go.
They do. They really do. And speaking about serving the church is something that service of a kind as well. And we've got a bunch of nuns that are going to be down at South Jackson doing the Sister Act.
I wondered where that was going.
Well, it's a kind of a crazy segue, but it is service.
And it is 7 o'clock, not 7:30.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's changed.
7 o'clock. 7:30's on, but it's 7 o'clock. And on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Now, that might be 2:30. I really don't know.
We need to check
that.
But
I'll find out. If you're 30 minutes early, what difference does it make? Sit and visit. But it's a great show being done.
Go see the museum. The museum is open,
Mitchell Museum.
And it's always good. And I think it's a good idea to go sign your name because there's a little funding involved when you sign your name.
Yeah, whenever you go to the museum, sign in because they use that. How many people come through there to help write grants?
Blossom Merriman has been kind of running that
for years and years and years. So we appreciate her.
So, you got
I got you a new Loku here. Oh, by the way, you can get my Loku book at Couches, downtown Tullahoma. And this is 128. A bluegill glides beneath the current, eyeing a cricket dancing on the surface, hunting a ride on a leaf. The quick step is suggested to not end up ingested.
I love that one. That's
so if
good.
you folks don't know what a quick step is, that is a ballroom dance.
It's a ballroom dance.
It's very fast.
Yeah.
And so when you're a cricket trying to get away from a fish,
You better do the
you
quick
don't need
step.
to be doing a slow dance. You need to be doing the quick step to find that leaf. So the quick step is suggested not to end up ingested.
I love that. That's very clever.
Oh, me.
What gives you the inspiration for that?
I don't know. It
You
just showed up in my crazy mind.
It just comes to your head and
Yeah.
and it comes
Yeah,
out.
I was thinking
and
about a
works.
cricket. I was
Yeah.
thinking about a cricket. I was thinking about somebody fishing is what I was thinking about. Just sort of floating along in my almost awake
Using
state.
Poor little cricket. for
And there was a
bait.
cricket. Yeah, there was a cricket out there. As a friend of mine, Jimmy Simmons, used to say, crickum. He put a crickum on there, and you throw a crickum out there, and the bluegill or the bram or the sun perch or
Grab it.
whatever
A
get
crickum.
them.
I like that.
So, but they dance, like a little water bug dances, and that's what those fish look for. And that cricket's out there hunting a leaf to ride on. They better use a quick step to get there.
So call the Civic Center 455-5321 and get a ticket. Not for a cricket,
not
but
for a cricket.
for Sister Act.
Sister Act. That's right. Chirp, chirp. We'll see you next time, folks. Thanks a lot.